welcome to another episode of Pitstop Fracas. I'm your host Mahad, and we're here to review the Mexican GP that's happened over the weekend. And I'm joined by Chris. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm alive, innit? The driver I represent on this podcast is drowning, but we move. But my team grabs poles.
He's diverted and gone back to the I'm a Ferrari fan, not a George fan. He's trying to get those stocks low key. As you may know, that Chris is the spokesman for George Russell, and he's got some questions to answer, like he's a Tory MP. Kwame, how we doing, brother? You're back 2 weeks in a row.
2 for 2, man. Hey, I can't miss an episode, man. But yeah, another cast member, another driver that they represent having a stinker today as well. But my team, we dunked on Haas. So, hey, let me be shameless, man.
Wait. Chris, let's just run this back. Did he just say his team? Did he leave AlphaTauri to go to Alpine, and now he's claiming AlphaTauri?
He never left, bruv. He has more tweets about AlphaTauri than he has about Alpine. You know when you lose your babes, yeah, and you go to a new one, but you want your old one back. Like, that's the love of your life. That's your cinnamon apple, bruv. That's AlphaTauri to Kwame, bruv. I know he wants to go back. He's just waiting. He's waiting for Danny Rick to leave.
I'm just waiting for AlphaTauri to get sold, and then he's got nothing.
Oh, no. Listen, when they rebrand to Adidas, I'm Gucci, man.
No. What if they get sold to Andretti? What, you're an Andretti fan? Man's going to claim, yeah, I was watching IndyCar. I was there.
You got me there, man. You got me there.
No. Man's going to be like, I watched Italy 1993, yeah, Michael, and he grabbed that podium, bruv. Oh, that's a real driver.
No, that's insane.
Hey,
before we get started, usual promo. Follow us on Twitter at Pitstop Fracas. Follow us on Instagram at Pitstop Fracas. Follow us on TikTok. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment. We love it. And if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple or wherever you get your podcasts, please leave a 5-star review. And please leave us some nice comments, as it all helps out. So today we're going to be reviewing the Mexican GP. Back to a normal weekend. No more after back-to-back sprint races. I feel a bit jaded about sprint races, but we've got another one in Brazil next week anyway. A bit of an eventful race and a very, very, very eventful qualifying, where once again, the guy that's triple world champion, who's dominated Formula 1 this season, has not put it on pole position again. And surprisingly, a team that absolutely showed nothing in Q1 and Q2 all of a sudden slapped out a pole lap. And both drivers are very, very, very close to each other and locked out the front row. That is Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, P1, P2. I just want Chris, talk us through why Ferrari, how did Ferrari do this? Because it did not look like they were going to get a pole, even though they did have a pole last week in Kota.
It's institutional muscle memory, bro. This is what we do. We just go fast. But in all seriousness, it was the fact that they kept the tires in good shape for once, and like literally the one time they kept the good tires good for the entire lap, they grabbed pole, and that was the kind of the story of qualifying, because these Pirelli tires were awful. The softs were awful. They were struggling to get them into the lap or struggling to make them last throughout the whole lap. So when you got it all right, you got a quick time. But if you got them a bit out of the window, you're nowhere, which is what happened to Mercedes, why Hamilton went from P1 in Q2 to P5. So it was just about making sure that the tires were working at the right time, and Ferrari got it absolutely spot on with both drivers somehow.
And very, very close between Carlos and Leclerc. Do you think that kind of gap's closed up? Because obviously that is the skill set known for by Charles Leclerc, pulling out worldy quali laps. And that's now, 22 poles? Matches Fernando Alonso. Bloody hell. Which is quite a stat. But Carlos Sainz he's kind of really closed up that gap in quali now.
He's never been that bad at quali. I know Lando was better than him, and Charles is better than him, but it's one of the things where it's not been too bad, and it's one thing that he's clearly worked on, and he's gotten better at producing quali laps. And it's a thing of, once I think when they're both kind of happy with the car, they're able to run it pretty close to one another. So it's showing off today, and he's grabbed a pole position. He's grabbed 2 pole positions this season, so he obviously knows what he's doing. So I think now that he's got on the top of the car, I think they've made the car a lot better. It's easier for Carlos to do his thing and be closer to Leclerc than it was at the start of the season when the car was a handful.
Yeah, definitely. There were some other surprises in qualifying as well. A returning Daniel Ricciardo. He returned in Qatar. Then the next week he's come to Mexico and he slapped it comfortably into Q3, which is, to me, like, what the fuck? And that qualifies Sergio Perez. And it's very close to Max Verstappen. Is this a redemption arc, Kwame? Daniel Ricciardo, is this the start? Or is this a bit fool's gold? What do we think about this? And what do we think about Sergio Perez being out-qualified by Daniel Ricciardo?
So, yeah, I've done some, research into the team about it. So, they've kind of been preempting, for Daniel Rick to obviously come back. The last race, Austin, he was actually using Yuki setup. So the setup wasn't actually designed for him. One thing about Daniel Rick is he's very particular about how he wants the car to be, how to be set up. He's not an adaptable driver in a sense. And the team, they set up the car this weekend more in his driving style, in his driving sense. And that obviously showed in quali, and that showed up in the race as well. And again, he's obviously racing. I think everyone pretty much knows he's racing for that Red Bull seat next year or year after, or whatever. But he's racing for the Red Bull seat and slapping onto P4 ahead of Perez even in that Red Bull as Sound Grand Prix is a big statement. But yeah, the AlphaTauri this weekend were looking very fast, to be fair with them. But that shocked me. I was out the night before, watched the qualifying back, but I woke up when I saw Daniel Rick P4. I was like, am I in the nightmare? Or am I in the dream? Or am I in car? I was not expecting that. If you told me even on Friday we would get P4, I'd be laughing at you. So you did a good job.
Kwame woke up. I thought he was still drunk, bruv. Man said I was out. Yeah, I woke up and I see Daniel people said, "Hey, I might be still drinking."
I will throw this out there. Yeah. I need one of you guys to answer this. What is AlphaTauri cooking for them to out-qualify a Merc and a Red Bull? This can't be driver, because I really do believe Yuki Tsunoda would have been Q3 comfortably if he did. I'd take it.
What they've done is basically said, we're not making our own cars anymore. We're copying the Red Bull, and they've made strides into copying Red Bull, and they've made them lots of improvements. It's basically, it's like they're copying the homework, and it's working for them. And now they're a lot more in line, because I remember the start of the season when Franz Tost was like, I don't trust my engineers. They went from that to, all right, we don't trust these guys. We're going to copy these other guys' work and make ourselves a lot closer. So that's the upgrades they provided. It's a serious Formula One team providing real upgrades and real improvement, unlike others.
It seems like their performance gains looks like better than certain other teams that got their car upgraded, but we won't speak on that right now. But Sergio Perez, what are we going to do about this? Because clearly Ricciardo's knocking on the door. He's already out-qualified you once, and he's only been here half a season. Is it trouble? Is it trouble for Perez in terms of Daniel Ricciardo? Is Daniel Ricciardo got a real shot at the seat, Kwame?
See, okay, politics-wise, yes, because it's clear night and day that Red Bull, Marco Horner, they're kind of tired of Perez now. They've it's run its course, essentially, this relationship, and they're like, we kind of want you to go. Ricciardo, he's such a marketable figure, man. Let's keep on this, man. And it's not racing. We're not talking racing here, but it's just the fact that, cool, if you got someone who's a better image, cool, they're going to push that. Let alone where now he's actually pulling up with the goods this weekend. We can talk about Perez start later and quali, but after on the race, sorry. But yeah, I feel like the writing's on the wall. I feel like they're just waiting for the right time, essentially. Like we talked about last pod, the contract time, and they're just waiting for the right job. Like me, they're waiting for the right time to switch, the right time just to change their top and be like, yeah, out of here, man, and give them the P45. But this is a good excuse. We've got how many races left to the end season now? If he keeps it up, then boy, scare your eyes for Perez, man, to be honest.
Chris, you're smiling about this. You prayed for these days. Do you want him out of Formula One completely?
Not really, but it's more just I want him out of the Red Bull. I want a bit more of a serious driver next to Max, just to push him a little bit. You know, some weekends give him a tussle. You know, make him work for it. But the funny thing is, this is the one time where, unless you say Max completely bottled his final lap, Perez actually produced a good qualifying session because he was only 1.5 tenths off. So it's kind of weird dunking on Perez for like getting out qualified by Danny Rick when he's only a tenth a bit off Max Verstappen. So it's a sticky one still.
Let's be shameless, man.
No. Kwame, if I told you, even listeners, I want listeners to know this, what viewers, if I told you the week before that Perez is going to qualify, you get easily into Q3, no problem, and he's 1/10 within the close, nearly a 10.5 close to Max, you'd say that's a good quality, no?
It's a good quality. But then when you put the context of who qualified ahead of him,
and I think people wouldn't criticize him if anybody else on that grid was in between them. It's because it's Daniel Ricciardo. I swear to God, because it's Daniel Ricciardo that's in between them. That's where he's had a stinker. If it was like Russell or even like Hulkenberg, nobody would care that's the driver between them two. It's because it's Daniel Ricciardo, and it's amplified that. And it got amplified even worse with that race start. Sergio Perez. Off the line, I think he had a fantastic start personally. He absolutely cooked off the line. And then into turn one, 3 wide, Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez. In front of the home fans, in front of family and friends, in front of all these sponsors. Got flipped like a pancake. Got tossed in the air because he was a bit too overly ambitious, in my opinion, anyway. I'm going to get both your thoughts on this, but Chris, break it down for me. Break down this whole situation, this race start, and Perez early buff.
So the Ferraris got a terrible start off the line, and I don't know what they were doing, but they stung. Max Verstappen got a great start off, and then Perez got the best start. Like the best start was in the toe, pulled out around the outside. He saw P1 in his eyes, bruv. He saw P1. He saw his name in the lights and the rafters. You know, they're gonna hang his shirt in the museum, name the track after him. He saw it all, and went for a move, and then forgot that his teammate was there, and that Charles was there, and he thought Charles was gonna back out. Charles didn't back out. He held it in. He held his ground. Then cut across, made a mistake, cut across, and 3 into 1 doesn't run. So he's gonna have to hold that. Your race done after like 800 meters because he just got lost in the sauce. Like he was very much, he did everything right until he made one error, and it was a fatal error, and so he kind of has to hold that. Ruined everyone's day.
Kwame, thoughts on that crash? Was he a bit overly ambitious there?
Yeah, way overly ambitious there. I feel like the pressure got to him as well. Like you said, off the line, he probably had the best start of the front runners. Again, like I said, the Ferraris had a poor start and they dropped off. He kind of dives down the inside and then gets into like a freeway where between him, Max, and Leclerc. He tries to turn in way too early into the corner. Probably not noticing that there are other cars there, and then when you turn, it's just going to end horrendously, especially when you're coming from the outside in, and then you're just going to cut off and you're just going to spin, and yeah, you crash. And unlucky for him, that was the end of his race, especially in the home crowd as well, especially with the situation he's in with that second seat Red Bull. It's not the time, but like Chris said, I think he saw his name in lights. He dived down. He probably thought, okay, I can make it to P1, and then just wasn't meant to be. Obviously, he's always we tried to rescue him. Hey, I don't know what they were thinking about that, man, but yeah, it just wasn't to be for his race. I mean, the fans try to blame Leclerc. Ain't Leclerc's fault, man. That's on Perez. We saw some of the
Leclerc's wanted by the cartel now, man. Had man scrapping in the audience like it was a football factory or something.
Let's just hope he made that safe out of Mexico City, man, because boy, them man did not play.
Of
We've seen before with Richard, man. Hey, stay safe.
You know, normally, yeah, these men roll up in Ferraris, yeah, and like, you know, your Ferrari driver, you roll up in a Ferrari. They Deflo escorted Leclerc out in a Fiat Punto, bruv. They said, you don't know what car we're leaving in, bruv. And you know, Red Bull, yeah, they tried to fix Perez's car to get him back in the race because they were on their knees. They said, we can't have Perez have a stinker here, yeah, because Marco got the block hot, yeah. Like, Marco got the block hot, and these men were on their knees for Perez to have a good weekend.
Did you see Helmut Marko with the hand around the shoulder of Perez on the pit wall? I've never seen that shit in my life. I've never seen Horner do that with any driver ever. Why did they do that in public?
That's PR, bro.
The cameras, man. So we
can't.
Bro, fam, them man wanted. They saw the car. They saw there was a massive hole in the underfloor. They said, "Nah, fuck this, man. It's over, man." Did you see the side pod? Side pod looked like a well. It was done. Man tried to get the car back out there. It was over, bro.
That side pod held an Ngannou bang, bro. It was a punch hole in the side, bro. I can't believe they tried.
They tried to say, come back in, fam. They're insane, man. But honestly, we're going to have discussion. It's always going to come up until it happens. What happens to Sergio Perez? Is he driving for Red Bull in the beginning in Bahrain 2024? Is he in that seat, Chris?
I don't know. Like, before I was saying nah, but that was just me like kind of hating. But now I genuinely don't know because anything can happen these days, bro. With this sport, anything can happen. I think his saving grace was that Danny Rick got injured. Because if Danny Rick was fit and was firing, they would have made their mind up already. But because it's like he's only had one real race, it's a bit more tricky for them to make the call, and it's not a dead set decision. So it's a bit sticky still.
If Danny Rick cooks in the next 3 races remaining, if he cooks, what I mean cooks like P7s, P8s, cooking in quality, is it a done deal?
Oh yeah, it's done.
Yeah,
then it's done.
So the thing about
Danny Rick, man, Danny Rick just falling forward, bro, failing forward, fam. Imagine you get dunked on by Lando Norris to the point where you get paid out and fired, and you end up in the best seat in Formula One. Are you crazy? That's actually insane to me, man.
But the thing is, he has an excuse in the sense of he was kind of smart, and his attitude at AlphaTauri basically said, "I'm not going to learn how to drive this car. You're going to make the car work the way I drive." It couldn't work at McLaren, and he just like, this messed me up, and it got into my head. Just like, if I don't drive naturally, I'm not driving. So I think they've all kind of worked and come to accept that, so it's fine. But him at any other team is finished. He can't go anywhere else. This is his home now. This is it.
This is what was it? Last shot, last chance.
Last chance F1, man. Last chance F1.
Last chance F1. You know, this is his last chance, bro. There's no more seats for you, bro. So if he gets into listen, I believe. Look, if Sergio Perez can win races in that car, that's it. Like, Ricciardo can win. And if we're in 2024 and Ricciardo's winning races, and Lando Norris is not winning races, there's no justice in this world, bro. There's no justice. I swear to God. My head would be absolutely in orbit, bro. I cannot believe it. Not to say that Ricciardo didn't win a race, he did. But this is what we call failing forward, fam. Because this guy was in the mud and he's here. And I can't believe it. And it's Sergio Perez's fault, man. And this is the worst thing, yes. People think Sergio Perez is going to retire. I heard a lot of talk about retirement. This brother loves money too much. And he brings money with him as well. He is not any then backmarker teams are putting him in the seat immediately, bro. The money he brings. Are you crazy? The Mexican fans, he's coming. He's going somewhere. If the rumors are true, let's talk about the rumors now before we start talking about the race. Probably, yeah. There are rumors in the paddock right now. lots of different rumors here and there. Aston Martin's being sold. Alonso's going to Red Bull. Perez is going to Aston Martin. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But there's no confirmation because a lot of these F1 journalists are doing chatty patty. And they're like, I can't believe it. I hope it's not true. I'm just sitting there waiting on Joe Sayward because he's going to expose that shit. While talking about, I was in the hills in Mexico. He's gonna write a blog and he's gonna have everything in there. But these lot, your Will Buxton's and lot, they're just doing kiki. We know something. The rumors in the paddock about something major happening. I want to get both yours opinions on what you think it is, and then we can check back on it when it does happen or if it does not happen. So, Chris, what do you think this massive rumor is?
I think Alonso is out of Aston Martin. Through some way or another, he's out of Aston Martin. I don't know if it's going to Red Bull or just basically going, I can't be bothered anymore because he's just seen the writing in the wall at Aston Martin. He's like, it was a good couple of podiums, but like, I'm kind of done. But I think it's centered around Alonso more than anyone. So I think him at Aston Martin, I think the relationship's done, man. I think he wasn't there for the hard times. He was just there for good fun, took a hacker and a couple of nice dates, but like when it's time to get serious, he's not there.
They started talking about kids and he was like, "Nah, I can't commit.
Yeah,
can't do it, love. Can we still have fun?" You know what I mean? Kwame, what do you think this rumor is?
I think Aston Martin. I don't think Lando was selling the whole team, but I feel like a certain percentage, like a young 20%, it's probably going to get sold to the next biggest bidder. Be that Geely, that's one rumor we've seen. They're like a big Chinese electric car firm or Honda or something, but I can see them give it something 20, 30, 10%. Similar to what Alpine have done, where they've sold a little percent as well to them American investors, and then who knows in the future what will happen in them with that team? Because obviously, Lance Stroll, I feel like he put Lance Stroll put too much money into that team for they're building their new factory in Silverstone, wind tunnel. I don't know if he's going to sell all of it, but what the stock saying with Aston Martin, anyways, man? What the stock saying?
Why you asking me? You know what my situation is. I'm in a predicament with these stocks.
There you go, man.
Expose my financial information.
You got real people here struggling.
Let's just say I'm eating beans for dinner. How about that?
There you go, man.
Yeah.
So needs to make it.
You know what killed me? Yeah, the screenshot of someone's like, they sold 250 million worth of shares, and that's where it was like $2.5 grand worth of shares.
No, it's 2.5 million. It's still meaty. It's nothing. What are you talking about? That's just a normal trade, bro. What are you talking about? At the end of the day, yeah, I'm inclined to believe Chris's thing. I don't think they're selling because I feel like that's a bit when it comes to money. Unless they've got like a clear buyer, and that would have been on the lead up. This is a huge acquisition. You can't just do this on a slide halfway through a huge investment that you're doing at the moment. The wind tunnel's not even finished. The project's still going on. You know what I'm saying? But I think this is an ego thing. I think Alonso started getting mad disrespectful about the situation with the car, and then maybe was a little bit disrespectful to Papa Stroll. And Papa Stroll's one of them guys that I don't take disrespect. I'm a fight. That's what I think.
If Alonso got fired again for disrespect, I would love it, bruv. Because he's having that Ferrari.
Nothing, which is crazy because if it was any other boss, they would never fire a guy that got them 7 podiums in a year. And this team's meaty, they never get podiums. Yeah, no other like that would never happen in any other scenario. But this is Lawrence Stroll. He don't play. This brother don't play. I've seen Drive to Survive. Man, stand up when he walks in the room, bro. They get nervous. Do you think he's going to have Alonso talk to him any other way? Talk crazy? No. But I think it's a case, in your scenario, Chris, I don't think he's going to retire or anything like that. I think he's lined up another seat already. But I just don't know where it is. I can't confirm it. People are saying Red Bull. I can't confirm that. I think first of all, like Red Bull are so on this second driver thing, and I don't know how they would ever believe if Alonso said to them, "Oh yeah, I'll be a second driver. It's fine. There's no problem. I'll call them. I'll listen to team orders." He's chatting shit. The second he's in the car that could win a race, he's gonna do something. He's not gonna listen to anything. And I think Max will dunk on him anyway. But it will cause strife and headache in that paddock. What I was trying to say is, I think, I don't know, man. It has to be another seat. It has to be another seat. The job's not finished.
I can't have Alonso in a Red Bull. I can't have him in a race-winning car. I can't do it. I can't do it. Because if Max bottles a race and Alonso picks up the scraps and gets a race win, I cannot have Rafa talking smack in my ear.
That's all what Alonso fans and Alonso wants. Just one race win. That's all they care about. The problem is, yeah. And I'm talking like it's NBA contracts right now, yeah. Alonso's got a contract at the end of 2024 with plus an optional year at the end of that, yeah. Perez has got a contract to the end of 2024. These men could just swap contracts and just put Checo in the Racing Point and put Alonso in the Red Bull and just let the year run out and say, "Oh, we're just going to give you, we're going to give the fans what they want. We'll put Alonso in the seat for Red Bull for 1 year, and that's it." That could happen. I think it's bloody stupid. I don't think it's going to happen, but that could happen. It's a possibility. And Perez goes to the team. Perez goes to the team where everybody loves him. He saved them. He's all that man there. He paid their mortgages, bro. Them man will die for him. All of them people, all them mechanics, everybody there, because he kept that team out of the mud with his sponsors. When that team was when my man went to jail, he held it down. That's his F1 home proper. Aston Martin, and he didn't even get the opportunity to start there when it was Aston Martin, but they replaced him with Vettel, and that's a Stroll team. But yeah, I think that's the rumor. I think Alonso's been sacked, which is endorphins for you, Chris. I know.
Unless he goes to Red Bull, then I'm in pain, bro. Like I've won at what cost?
What if Sainz goes to Red Bull? Then Alonso goes to Ferrari.
I go back to hating my team again, bro. I've done it before, bro. You'll see me. You know the Red Bull hat that I won at Tom and Aldous live show. You'll see me wear that on the pod, bro. When Max smokes Alonso, you'll see me wear it on the pod with pride.
Alonso Charles Leclerc would be the funniest driver lineup ever, bro. Racing IQ versus no racing IQ. That would be hilarious, bro.
It'll be 24 qualified sessions to Leclerc, and then it'll be like 23 races to Alonso. I would just sit there and go, "Oh my god, I can't believe this."
Every race. How did Leclerc lose that one? Fuck's sake. He qualified him by 8 positions. How did he do this? Oh my god. It'll be a nightmare. But back to the actual race itself. Before we get started, Charles Leclerc, what's up with these race starts? That's 3 race starts, including the red flag start. What's wrong with these race starts?
No, you're not. I noticed it as well. But he stinks with them, and he needs to fix it up, because it's like when it goes from dry to from wet to dry and starts just smelling for no reason. It's one of those things. He just has holes in his game. That's something that just become apparent when you watch him a bit closely.
I mean, I was about to be nice and give him, okay, cool, race pace tax in it, but hey, now you man said it. Hey,
to be fair, I thought he had a fantastic race. I just think these race starts seem to sort out. I don't know if it's the car. I don't know. Got smoked by Lando in Qatar.
But I think the car as well, because even the signs was a bit as well. But like I said, in Qatar as well, same issues. So who knows if it's Leclerc or the actual car? Okay.
Race went on. Max Verstappen led the race, did his thing. We had a kind of like a little bit of a boring first stint where guys were just getting into the groove of things. Hamilton was progressing, trying to put pressure on the Ferraris, but Ferrari looked a little bit comfortable. Leclerc, for some reason, with a missing front wing after the Perez incident, looked quite comfortable. He looked fast, so it looked like P2 was really on. And Kevin Magnussen, I don't know what happened. I think his suspension failed. It was just a scary crash. Car on fire straight away. To me, it was apparent that it was a red flag. But it took ages to say it was a red flag. And some guys pitted in that time. Verstappen pitted, Norris pitted, and it turned out it was a red flag anyway. So just a waste of a pit stop. Norris lost like 2 positions just doing that for no reason. But yeah, ended up being a red flag while they cleaned up the barriers and got to put the car away. Then we had the opportunity of it happened bang on lap 36. So it was literally halfway through the race. So we got to see a different half in the second half of the race. And first of all, let's speak about Lando Norris, because this guy dropped 10 positions in that second restart. And he spoke about not losing positions, but I'll just firstly, Chris, talk us through Lando Norris's race, because the guy was at the back, could have a poor qualifying session for him, not getting into Q2 and starting off at P17, then clawing his way back to P8, then going all the way back to P14, and then ended up where he ended up. Speak to me about it, Chris.
Do you know what annoyed me the most about this Lando Norris recovery drive? Yeah, is that he was properly stinking. Yeah, and then because after you drew me out last week with the George and Lando little conversation. So I was like, oh, let me get my get back. Lando's having a let me get my get back. And then the qualify happens, he stunk it. The race begins. Cool, he's making a small recovery. Then the red flag starts again, another stinker. But then he got the tires into the window, kept it in the window, and then was pulling overtake after overtake, real hooping. And you just gotta respect it. Like, the car had pace for a podium, and he showed it. He showed levels. He said, I'm gonna get my tires in the window, keep them in the window, keep them cooking. Him and Lewis, masterful in the mediums. So it was a really, it was a world-class drive, and good recovery from a letdown of a Saturday. So it's one of that. He was the star of the show in terms of pure race entertainment. Great moves on Danny Rick and George. Just real hooping. So I can't hate. And as a small penny stock investor, because I like the British people, I like British racers, but it was a great drive. It's on the spreadsheet, brother.
I was about to question you. Is he on the spreadsheet, Kwame? Because this guy's telling me about Norris. What's going on here?
There's a caveat. There's a caveat that basically says I rate Norris, but I rate him less than George, and that's the caveat on the spreadsheet. So it's like
we need to have that. We will have that conversation. I think that's the next fact card, because the position is becoming untenable at this moment in time. Because where did Russell start and where did Lando Norris start? Where was Russell's teammate? You can't even blame the car to say, oh yeah, the Mercedes that have pace. What happened there?
His teammates Lewis Hamilton, but if that don't count, bro. But your teammates Lewis Hamilton.
No, you can't do this. You can't do this. At least finish the head of the Ferraris. What are you doing, man? Let's not do this, man. I saw George Russell do the same move on Sainz 6 times in a row. He didn't even switch it up. He didn't even switch up the jumper. He said, I'm getting in the post and I'm backing down. I'm doing the same move over and over again, and it was not working.
His head is gone, man. His head is gone. He's not well. That boy is not well in the head. And it is what it is.
I saw his head going on team radio, man. That team radio where he was shouting, hey, his head was gone, man.
Oh yeah, there was a team radio where they were like, "Oh, you're racist with Lando," and he's like, "Oh, I don't care about Lando." Like something of that accord.
That's it. It was after the pit stop. Yeah, because he was behind Lando.
I was like, brother, you need to care about Lando. Because Lando was on spot.
But you know what it is? It was, were they committed to a 1 stop or a 2 stop? That's what confused me about Mercedes. I don't know what they were doing, because Red Bull.
I don't know. It muddied the waters. Isn't it?
Yeah, Red Bull committed to a 2 stop. Ferrari were doing a 1 stop, and then Mercedes were just doing half and half. And I was like, if they're doing a 1 stop, George is right. If they're doing a 2-stop, the team is right. And because we don't know, it is what it is.
These guys kept doing dummies and dummies and dummies, man. So even me, hey, I was confused as well. Even George, I'm confused because like, am I in the box? Nah, dummy. But yeah,
we'll speak about George a little bit further in a minute. But Lando Norris, this is a phenomenal drive. He's got a prehistoric engine. The guy's had the same engine since Spa. Yeah, it don't look like he's gonna even change engine for the rest of the season. So the man's gonna have the same engine from Spa to the end of the season. Yeah, and he's pulling this stuff off. Obviously, he made up for the kind of not putting that lap in and locking up in Q1 yesterday on the Saturday, and made up for it. And he did say after the restart where he went drop backwards, he said, "I just didn't want to get any damage because I know I got pace in the car." So when you do think about it, dropping from 8th to 10th for a pit stop for no reason, we could have looked at a situation where he could have got a podium. I think he definitely could have got a podium, even recovering. So that would have been crazy from P17 to whatever P3 or so. But he got it down to P5 quality, and I think like all the I heard narrative this season saying that they've never seen Lando Norris overtake. That he doesn't do overtakes and he has no racecraft. What are we doing here?
These people do not watch Formula One. They just watch their favorite driver and run and look at the They watch Formula One like it's sofa score. You know when you watch Football Manager, you play Football Manager, and you just see in the ratings and you see.
They like I didn't watch football. It's the same.
Yeah, they're not actually watching races and racing because it's like when you watch like let's say when Lando was stuck in the midfield, you'll see these men do like hooping and do moves and stuff. And it's like. And then they suddenly get to the front and then they do one or two things like, brother, like, no, it's clear as day that this guy has racecraft. He's been great at defense. It's all there. So I don't understand why you guys haven't seen this. Like, you're not watching the sport. Like, you're just there commenting basically where man on based on their position, not on what actually happened in the race.
Kwame. Thoughts on people that I want to know your thoughts on Lando Norris. I don't know your position. You've never made your position clear.
Yeah, no, I rate him highly, but like I rate Lando highly, but it's more of Mahad, you're doing the McLaren Lando prop, Chris is doing the George Russell prop. I'll let man do that prop, no the man's there. I'll let you man, rate this man. I rate Lando. Today's race was absolutely amazing from. All the way down at 1 point, P19, that strategy that McLaren did, with the way he's working them hard tires in the first was nice. Was nice, he got past the grid with ease again. He had the pace, and then after the red flag, he dropped down again. But then the determination to push back up again, he did wonderful, and to get past the grid, like we said with George Russell. Yes, George, went right into that corner in the second one, but still he got past him. Danny Rick as well just got past him on the straight. Like he just did it with ease today, and therefore for sure, if that race continued, he would have caught up with the front runners. So McLaren can definitely be proud of Lando today. Unlucky, for perfect.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of disappointed in Oscar's performance, but I'll just say it's a rookie performance because if that's the pace that was inside the car, he should have had a podium. Considering where he was,
he's struggling with the rookie thing of in races where Pirelli tires are kind of ass. He's really struggling. So it's one where he was struggling to get in the window and keep it in the window, and he already has that thing where he kind of falls away a little bit. So these men who all hopped on Piastri stock, stay there, stay here. We're in the low now. Stay, don't stall, don't run away, don't run from the grind. You man hopped on, you're all ready to be like, yeah, Piastri stock. He's struggling. Make sure you acknowledge that. Don't try and just hop on when things are looking rosy. Yeah, you've had 2 races of like not great performances. Like stay there and acknowledge what you've bought into.
I think the tire thing as well is very much. Has he been to the track or not before? That's. It's all based on that because I've seen this guy do 50 plus laps on one set of hards in Jeddah, but this guy He's been to Jeddah. He's cooked in F2 in Jeddah and won the sprint race and the race. So the guy knows that track, but he doesn't know tracks like Mexico City. He doesn't know tracks like Qatar. So he doesn't understand what he needs to do tire management wise, and he has to have the feel for it to get into the window. Obviously, there could have been a little bit of damage with the incident with Yuki Tsunoda, which we're going to speak about later. But it's still just like the second that restart happened, he was nowhere.
He fell off.
Ricardo was long gone. He was fighting left, like Yuki was on his neck. Before that incident happened, Yuki was on his neck and he could not get away from him. And that shouldn't be the case in that McLaren when you saw the pace that Lando was showing in that car. So for those that were saying, oh yeah, Lando, Oscar's better than Lando, like now, like, can you stay calm? Can you please just stay calm for like just a moment, bro? And just please watch the sport properly and allow the kid to just grow up and get into his bag, get into his elements, learn some more, and then that conversation can happen. But just to run that kind of conversation just for the sake of agenda just lacks of any sort of knowledge of the sport that you're watching. You need to understand what's going on. People are going to now, because people are hyping up Piastri, I have to protect Piastri. He's my driver. He's the driver for McLaren, isn't it? Now people are going to run Piastri agendas when it's unjustified, because man raised him up and put him to the moon, put him to the sky, to like he's the greatest, he's a top 3 driver, he's a top 5 driver, and then when he doesn't live up to those expectations, man are gonna run agendas. It's a constant cycle. These people are sick. The guy's a rookie, bro. Nobody has these expectations as a rookie, and he was in a shit car, and all he needs to do is focus on, can I snag a podium here or there? The man's got 2 podiums in his rookie season. Leave man alone. That's my problem. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, Lando Norris for me, I would say my driver of the day. That's Lando Norris, because that second stint was one of the best stints I've ever seen from Lando Norris, ever. And if there was more laps, Sainz was gonna get cooked. I'll tell you now. Then Ferraris were gonna get cooked.
I saw he's really catching Sainz as well. By the end of it, so he was
around there.
Well. He was there by stuff, yeah.
And shout outs to Sainz though, because he held on to that position now ahead of Fernando Alonso in the standings. So Fernando Alonso 5th in the standings, looking absolutely crazy, and Lando Norris is right behind him. So we might be looking at Fernando Alonso maybe even P7, P8, in the driver standings. P7. Scary hours. Chris, this is not just a conversation about just this race alone. This is a conversation about George Russell since the summer break. And I want you to just break this down for the people, because George Russell did not have a good race in comparison to Sir Lewis Hamilton, first of his name, the person that we will speak about in depth in about 10 minutes or so. George Russell, the person that was caught on camera saying on Sky Sports, I'm better than Lewis Hamilton. Shit's gone downhill since then. And I want to know, what is wrong with George Russell? George Russell is clearly not maximizing or optimizing the car's potential, because Lewis Hamilton finished 20-odd seconds ahead of him, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a big gap. This is the second weekend in a row where he's been nowhere at the end of the race, and he hasn't maximized the upgrade yet. It takes him a bit longer than it does Lewis to maximize upgrades. Doesn't have the same level of feel as Lewis Hamilton. Like, he's not better than Lewis Hamilton. We all know this. He has to think he's better than Lewis Hamilton, because if he doesn't, I want him out of the seat, because you have to think you're that guy. Like, if you want to sit at the top table, you have to think you're that guy. That's just the rules of life. You have to think you're that guy, or think I'm going to become that guy. So that's one thing. Him, this past summer break, he's been a mix of bozo and unlucky, because some of his better drives have come with no rewards, and then he's done some really dumb stuff, and then he's had some poor races. So it's like Qatar, Mexico, he's stunk. Singapore, he crashed on his own accord. That's his own fault. He has to hold that. Japan was normal. he wasn't far off Lewis at all, and he tried a one stop because he said, if I carry on this two stop, I'm going to end up in this one position. Try the one stop and end up in the same position anyway. So didn't change anything.
Team orders,
He didn't ask for. He asked for team orders to try and gain one position on Sainz, but it was a tough situation. But other than that, it was one where
Do you know what? Russell asking for team orders and Lando asking for team orders is flirting and harassment.
No, it's not, because they both get cooked.
No, Russell don't get cooked as much as Lando for them team order things. Because at least Lando's team orders are justified. Russell's team orders never make sense in this situation at hand. The guy will ask for team orders and it's for his own race. It's not for the team.
That's him, innit? That's a racing driver. Like, I'm gonna be real with you, yeah. As a racing driver, you gotta look after number one. Like, I think there's this whole fake motion, like, because obviously, I think what people need to understand is that his teammate doesn't care. Like, if it turns into championship mode on, you will see Lewis Hamilton call for team orders in a different way. But until then, it's kind of like if I'm not fighting for a race win and I'm not fighting for a championship, I don't like. I want to drive well, but I don't care as much. It's more, okay, I get the mandem their bonus. They can buy Christmas presents for their children, but like the rest of it doesn't matter. And I think George is someone who has a lot more to prove, and there's like a lot more like I have to show I'm that guy. I have to, I'm here with Lewis until 2025. Like, I'm stuck here. This is it. Like, it's no longer like I can wait around for things to happen. I have to make action now. And I think his problem is that all of his better races and better drives have come with no rewards. Like, there's been nothing positive. I think his head is gone now as well. So it is what it is, I'm
gonna ask you a simple question. Does he, based on his performances this year, does he deserve to sit at the table where Leclerc and Norris sit?
Yes.
But he hasn't shown that. We're looking at Leclerc 4 podiums, Norris 6 podiums.
Me personally, I'll say with Leclerc, but not with Norris. But that's the space of the season.
Yeah, we're talking isolation of this season.
I will say this, yeah, and I'll say this comfortably. He's in the worst situation out of the three of them. So Norris went from the worst car to the second fastest car in quite a few tracks. They were McLaren number 2. Ferrari have had a lot of races where they were the number 2 fastest car on the track. How many races were Mercedes the second fastest car? And then you have
Lewis Hamilton finished on the podium.
Not all of them.
Even then, questionable, yeah. But even then, questionable.
Not all of them.
They were the second fastest car in Kota. They were the second fastest car.
I admit
that. In Mexico.
I don't think so.
I don't think Ferrari had the pace, man. I checked the data.
That red flag.
I remember. I saw your tweet. I checked the data. It's not marrying up.
That red flag shagged Ferrari to bits because that first stint they were comfortable, and I think Lewis is like. I know Lewis is a tire whisperer, but I believe that Mercedes would have had to pit again because Red Bull were always going to pit, and I think Mercedes were going to pit again, and I think Ferrari were comfortable within the one stop. I just feel that the red flag worked in Mercedes' favor. I don't think they were the second fastest. I think they were there with McLaren as third fastest. Like, you could get a podium, you could beat Sainz and get a podium, but Leclerc, who was on it, no way. And I think it's one where, like, the one time, okay, I'm trying to think, because he's bottled some podiums, like in Monaco, he bottled the podium. Australia, the engine blew up, so that's not on him. And then Spain, he grabbed the podium. And then I'm trying to think what other race where Mercedes were and in Singapore, that was his own fault. So it's a bit like the chances are much more limited than the other guys. We're dealing with a number 2 against 2 like number 1s where you're the better driver in your team. So when your car is on it and you're on job, you should deliver a podium. You know,
let me just come to you, Kwame, and bring you into the conversation. Do you think this situation with him being with Lewis Hamilton is sustainable on the team for his long-term development, for his prospects of possibly being a world champion and achieving the things that, let's say, Leclerc and Norris want to achieve as well? I'm going on that challenge.
It's not looking like it, is it? I felt like I'm trying to think what could be the cause for George Russell's downturn in performance, and I'm thinking it could really be this whole contract situation of Lewis staying for. Obviously, Lewis went to stay for just 1 year, and obviously extended his contract to 2025. And I feel like in Russell's head, I felt like he thought, okay, cool, I can ride out this year, push one class with Lewis, and then cool, I'll be the main man in this team. Now Lewis is staying there longer term now. I'm not sure if he sees in the head like, cool, will I be the main man? When will I be the main man? And it's going to be this situation up until that unless if George just rises above it and he's just like, cool, let me just run my own race. Because we know he's a quality driver. We know he's a capable driver. We know, cool, he can be up to toes with Hamilton with the right, car of the right circumstances. I feel like he just needs to be at a point where, cool, this is my situation I'm in. I shouldn't worry about if he's going to be here or not. Let me just race my own race. And the awards will come from it. I feel there's too much pressure on his head where he's just all of a sudden, he's just doing things that's unlike George from the season. It's been a very weird year with George. Like, I hear the pace, cool, he's been faster, but the results, it's just been weird for me this season, George. It's been a weird year.
I think another problem is he's rolling the dice too much. He's going for risks. So he's basically going, there's not a championship winning car. There's not on the normal soccer, a race winning car. I'ma just roll the dice at every opportunity. And he's losing money in the casino. Like, he's going home bankrupt, bruv. The account is red. He's crying, everything's gone wrong. And it's one where it's like, the best example is when Lewis talked about Singapore and he was like, if I was in George's position, I would not have pitted to put on the new set of mediums to chase for the win. I've just taken the P2. Whereas George is there going, I'm starved. I'm going to go for it.
He sounds desperate.
He sounds like panicking, yeah.
Yeah, I think what's that brother that have you seen that meme with the African guy at the roulette machine? He's got coffee. And he's like, that man's got no bread left. He's got no bread left in the roulette machine right now. It's looking crazy for him. And he's trying these things. Oh, let me try this. Let me try full strategy. Let me do the. He's not going to recover. The guy is not even going to recover his position to where he's going to be ahead of Leclerc and them, man, in the standings. It's over.
Yeah, I think that's just the nature of the thing. I think his biggest problem is Mercedes. I think for him, it's more he needs a better car to basically kind of just make him race normally, because last year he raced normally and it worked well for him. And then obviously a bit of luck in his favor boosted things. This year, he's not raced normally. He's kind of rolling the dice, once another race win, once another pole position, once this, once that. It's like, yeah, it's not looking good, but it's one thing where, because I can see that his base driving level is better, I'm not overly concerned. It's more just,
So do you feel like he's improved from last year?
100%.
What aspects?
Race pace, time management. It's all a lot better. But it's just that the problem is that everything is relatively worse, because last year Mercedes were comfortably the third fastest car, and then when Ferrari was stinking, it was second fastest, and Sainz was having howlers here, there, and everywhere, and so on and so forth. Whereas this season, there was an Aston Martin at the beginning and McLaren now, where it's a tussle. And whereas Lewis Hamilton's on top of things, he's not, and it's one of those situations where growing pains. It's the kind of thing sometimes you have to get beaten up to really show what you're made of and show what needs to be done. So you got to hold these licks.
He's got to hold the licks, man. He's got the whole licks for now, but for me, he's under surveillance. Doesn't mean he's on a watch list or anything like that. I'm just keeping an eye out. Just literally keeping an eye out. Because if I was to rank the drivers this season, is he a top 5 driver this season? No.
On performance now.
And if you want to be called a top 5 driver in Formula 1, them seasons, you can't be having off seasons, bro. You cannot be having stinker seasons.
Hey, everyone's allowed one stinker season, bro.
No. Not at the top level.
Our GOAT had a stinker season, brother. I know it's fueled by heartache. He had a stinker season, bro.
No. We talking 11?
2011,
yeah.
That car was that car.
It was good car. About P2 in the championship. That I know there's bad luck.
No, we're not gonna. This ain't 2009. You know when man try to say 2009? Oh yeah, Hamilton was in the back mark or whatever. Yeah, that was 11. Weren't that? Tell you that now.
Yeah, it's the thing is, it's fine. It's more how you come back and what you do about it, and that's the real test. So it's like
2011. He had some banger drives though.
He had some. The thing is, George had some banger drives. But Qatar, he went from last to P4. No one cares, and that's fine. I don't care that no one cares because it means that if he has a stinker, we care a bit less either. Then it's balanced.
Lewis Hamilton 2011, China, getting shanked. 3rd race, man did a Mazzoline in that race. He didn't even have the car ready.
No, I get it. The thing is, it's one thing. It's one thing. I get it, and it's like some of his good. I always say this. Silverstone was one of his best race weekends, and he came out just head gone. He did everything right, but when God's not with you and the luck's not with you,
there are solid drives here and now. I'm not going to pretend like he's had an absolute Vettel 2020 type of thing. He didn't do that.
Yeah,
like 2011 kind of everyone needs 2011 though. Like everyone kind of ate that year though. Everyone kind of ate. Like it was that top 4, top 5 for the championship that year. It was close. So cool. Even though Lewis was the bottom of that top 5 list, it wasn't as bad as compared to what George having now, in my opinion. Even though the car was not there.
I think the thing is, apart from let's say Verstappen, Hamilton hasn't really had a stinker this year, and then
Hamilton has been phenomenal, especially
He's had a great year.
He's been his quality hasn't been top notch, but he's racing.
Yeah, I'm thinking Leclerc's had Hooners. Alonso's had Hooners, anyone else, like apart from Hamilton and Verstappen, everyone else has kind of had a stinky race or 2 in there.
That's true.
But it's more how much we pay attention to it and what actually happened. So it is what it is. It's Russell's time to be put on the microscope. I embrace it. I just don't want people lying. I think people are exaggerating the whole season thing. But the past 2 races,
a lot of people have commented and said Russell, based on these performances, he's no better than Bottas. To me, that's you gotta calm down, man. Because then we're just talking agenda. We're not actually talking Formula 1 anymore. We're just talking about come on, let's be serious now. Let's be serious. Because what on earth? Why would you even say that? Why would you even refer to that? So you're telling me a driver that's below Bottas's level beat Lewis Hamilton last year? What are we doing right now? And how can you say you got the best driver lineup if you got a driver that's worse than Bottas? Under the same breath.
Remember, they're all Piastri fans now.
Oh yeah. Say no more, man. If you're a Piastri fan out there, let me know if you was in the trenches in 2021 with us. Even 2020, if you was in the F3 trenches, you weren't there, man. You was not there. But the person that's not in the trenches, the guy that's in the upper echelon of Formula 1 at this moment in time, Sir Lewis Hamilton. Absolutely phenomenal performance. especially that second stint, the amount of time that he put on Leclerc, the amount of time that he put on the rest of the grid, on those mediums for more than 30 plus laps, an absolutely superb performance, kind of stringing together right off the back of getting disqualified after doing a fantastic performance in Kota as well. Kwame, tell me about Sir Lewis Hamilton's performance and what you've been thinking about his recent form in races.
He after what happened in Kota with the disqualification, he needed that performance obviously to catch up on the P2 for that championship, and he delivers, man. Honestly, again, like I said earlier, he might have got lucky, with the red flag coming at the right time, for him. But that's like I said, that second stint, the way he caught up, with Leclerc, the way he drove a phenomenal race, and no faults as well. I mean, clearly he was the second best driver on the grid as well today. Oh, yes, I should say. You could tell him by him getting a fast lap as well. Great performance. That was right at the end, but yeah, he did a great job. And Mercedes, they held together for him as well. So yeah, he had a great race. That's all I can say. Speechless again, because we're now getting to the business part of the season, and it's starting to come together. Take away the disqualification, that's 2 second places back to back now. So he's doing the business, which is what's needed.
Any suggestions that Lewis Hamilton's lost it? Insane to me. He's not. If the car's better, he gets better. This is just how it is. Obviously, as with time and age, he will drop off the physical abilities, but he's still there. You know what I'm saying? There's no way he's not there, and there's still a big gap between him and the rest of the grid, bar Max Verstappen. So he's still there. Chris, tell me about Lewis's performance.
He's the GOAT. He does the GOAT things. Like I remember when I don't know who put out the tweet about bigger strengths and weaknesses and whatever. And then I told everyone, I said, it's the sense of feel and how like when I think now he can feel the car a lot better, and he's able just to coax the tires and do these crazy tire saving stints where he set the fastest lap on 34 lap old mediums, bro. That's what it means when you're the best. And it's one thing, it was disrespectful when people talk about him being washed up and just, man are just running lies out of pure hate just because. And it's the second time in my lifetime I've seen people do this where, you have a guy who's known as the best because he's a bit older and there's some other guy in a better car. You think man's washed up. No, it don't work like that, bro. Give him the tools he can call.
Schumi was washed. Schumi was washed.
In 2006, where he won the most races in a season. Come on, bro.
No. When he came back, he was washed.
Hey, he grabbed the pole in Monaco. That's all I needed. My heart was full, bro. That's all I needed, bro. All I needed.
He start a pole in that race. Let's not be shameless here, man.
Hey, he set the fastest lap here. Man was driving.
Unless Lewis retires and F-softs for 3 years, then comes back, then I'll understand wash talk.
Yeah, but but obviously, I was talking about Michael in 06 when I
Michael 06, like, I don't know.
I remember Brundle was like, Alonso and Kimi, the new kids are here. Then at the end of the season, we're like, hey, this man's the GOAT, bro. We're going to miss this guy. And I think it's the same.
He didn't win, though.
That's Ferrari engines doing Ferrari engine things, bro. But we move.
They had man doing consultant role in 2007. I was in the paddock, bro. Trying to teach Kimi how to drive. I'm like, brother, Kimi was dunking at you. What's going on right now, bro?
Bro,
let's not talk about that. Let's go back to
Lewis. But yeah, man, it's one thing where he's just so good, isn't it? It's like it's one of those things where even some decisions that might be thought as questionable, he makes it work, and it's basically we're being robbed of real entertainment because we have someone that can give Max a headache just rotting away in this bad car, and he's showing levels. He's fighting for. He's just showing levels, isn't it? It's just he's the GOAT. Like it's as simple as that. The GOAT doing GOAT things, and I think now people are putting respect on his name again properly. So I can't complain too much.
I think right now the only person that goes toe to toe with Lewis Hamilton is Max Verstappen. Because Max Verstappen, we've ignored them on this pod. I don't know why, but he's phenomenal this race. What the hell?
The race starts were very, very good, and I'm here waiting to hate on the man, but I can't do it. I'm just sat here just like
Man are asking us on the Twitter account why we don't talk about Max Verstappen. This platform was built on hating on Max Verstappen, but he's cooking. We're not shameless. This guy's not. He's moving like a robot. He's faultless. Even Lewis Hamilton saying this guy's faultless. He's not doing anything wrong, bro. The quali maybe, but even then, on the Sunday, he's slapping it and winning by 20 seconds. And and do you know what's so funny? Do you know what the 2021 season was? Was him doing that and Lewis doing that to the rest of the grid, just winning by that much. And it was them two battling. When you look back, I want you to go back and look at the 21 season. When Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen were battling, chasing each other down. Check where third place was. Check the seconds that these men were putting on their head. Because it is Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, and then there's a huge gap, and then it's the rest of the grid. So don't talk like when people are doing comparisons with Lewis Hamilton and Leclerc. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What's going on? I don't care. I don't care about one lap pace. Do not care. What did he do to Leclerc in that race? Oh yeah, the mediums are going to drop off. Man instantly put 7 seconds on Leclerc's head. Immediately. On the so-called preferred tire. But if I speak, I'm in big trouble. But Lewis Hamilton, man, just give him the car, man. I don't trust these guys. I don't trust these guys at Mercedes to give him the car. That's my problem. I have no issues with anybody at Mercedes apart from that man called James Allison and Mike Elliott and them guys over at Brackley. Can you build a ground effects car? Can you build a ground effects car? Can you properly to the level? Because technically, low key, when you deep it, Red Bull didn't really upgrade their car like that this year. They really didn't upgrade their car like that. So those people that say, "Oh yeah, the time penalty didn't really impact them," whatever, they just came through with a wavy car from the jump that was already built before they even got a penalty. Yeah. Now they got that shit back. Now Newey's cooking. He's like, what can we do here? What can we do for next season? It's gonna get scary. But yeah, driver of the day, guys. Before we go, Chris.
I'll give it Danny Rick with a honorable mention to Ocon for that radio message because that's just
needy for that, man. You can't give him ratings for that. For those that didn't watch the race, Ocon, what did he say? Tell the streets, Chris.
He was like, tell. He's on the radio. His engine is like, oh, tell Haas, yeah, that I'm about to send it. I'm about to send it on Hulkenberg, yeah. It took him like 15 laps to make the move.
Brother, do you know what that was? That's like when you get that meme with the baby with the gun and he starts crying. He said he was gonna rise it. He did not rise it, bro. He could not rise it. You cannot. If you say it on the radio, do you know how rare that is to say on the radio? In my years of watching Formula 1, nobody actually says that shit. So if you do say that shit, you got to rise. He did not rise, and Gasly's behind him thinking, "What's wrong with my man?"
No, Gasly can't chat because he was doing that in the first thing against Hulkenberg. So
Yeah,
Alpine were breathing.
Yeah, let him go for it. It was, hey, they got the job done in the end, but fam, that has as well. Remember the tie there game Mexico, Hulk was falling off and they still couldn't get past him up until the last couple of laps. Boy.
Insane. Hulkenberg deserved the point, man. Low key. Kwame, driver of the day. I'm
gonna give it to Lando still. I think I said in the chat as well. I said before Yuki did what he did, I'm about to say toe and toe between Yuki and Lando because they were both having similar races, but I've got to give it to Lando, man. He finished it. He finished the job.
We have to speak about Yuki. My head was gone, man. Do you know how perfect this drive was, bro? He was last, This guy was last, ended up P8, yeah? He was cooking. He was frying guys on that grid. He was cooking, bro. He's fast. Do you know what I was waiting for? Which was going to be inevitable if he did get past Oscar Piastri, because he was all over Oscar. He was faster than him. Yeah, if he did go, he was going to dunk on Ricardo. I'll tell you right now, he was going to dunk on Ricardo. But the streets were denied. Because imagine the streets if Yuki Tsunoda ended up finishing ahead of Ricardo, and he started like P20. That would have ended the talk, but too overly ambitious, going around the outside. I feel like this is the culture of Formula One at the moment. Go around the outside and thinking you're gonna just stick it. Like there's a risk to it. You got to be patient. You do not go around the outside unless you know that you can land it. Same to Perez. You do not go around the outside if you expect. And you know what's so funny? For years since 2019, people that Michael Messi and them, man, they've put in this culture where the guy on the inside gets penalized when somebody tries to attempt to go around the outside and gets dinged. Yeah. So people feel like, oh yeah, I might as well do it because people are so scared of getting a penalty. Do not do it. Unless you can clear the guy, do not do it. Unless you got the momentum, do not go around the outside, thinking that you can just cut back in and do your thing. Oscar, passenger in that situation. Yuki Tsunoda, big points thrown away.
Anik and Nam are winning now. They're winning.
It would have been over, Chris. Would the conversation would be over? Even if he just back behind Ricardo, it would have been over the conversation.
Yeah, no, it would have been done. It would have been an amazing drive, but it's one of them ones where that moment just vindicated the hate.
On the Saturday, I saw Robert Sanchez do a thinker, and now Sunday I'm seeing that. I was heartbroken, bro. And the worst thing,
there's no excuse.
But there's no excuse. I'm not denying it, but like it made no sense because like the amount of straights, the DRS in Mexico was cooking, bro. All you have to do was hold it up for a straight, because obviously the corners in Mexico is quite tight, and he did the lap before as well. He did the lap before, and they touched rules. So I thought to myself, brother, you're playing on fire now. Don't do this again. He did the same thing the next lap. But yeah, I'll give Lando. After that, I'll give Lando. But all mention to him.
He would have been certified driver today if he even finished in the pits. But yeah, Lando, unreal. What can I say? Unbelievable drive. Latifi Award. Chris, I already know you're going to do it. Tell the streets, man.
Let Kwame cook first.
Okay, Kwame. Latifi Award, aka We Can Bloody See You Award. Don't think you can hide it.
Hey. Alfa Romeo, and in particular, Zhao Guanyu or Guanyu Zhao. Yeah, I'm gonna give to that brother, man. Right. How can you finish? Bro, so he was fighting in the points, at the beginning. Him and Bottas, they were both in the points. They were both, brother. That man just dropped off the grid. That man qualified both in the Q3, right, in the top 10. They were both fighting for points up. Yeah. How am I seeing a Yuki who crashed into obviously Piastri? He went down all the way to the bottom of the grid, but he still was ahead of Zhao. I'm seeing Sargent who Bottas crashed the Sargent right at the end, and Sargent still was ahead of them, man, up until he had his issue in the last lap when he pitted for whatever reason. For that pump flow issue, whatever. And this is meant to be the next big manufacturer in the sport. I know Siler's my boy, so I know I will get I'll get cooked for it. But it's scary as for both of them too. Like, brother, what overtakes was this man doing? Everyone else I've seen the grid cooking, even Haas, were eating as well with Hulkenberg.
Kwame, Lando Norris has a 3-minute video of overtakes in one race. Does Guan Yu Zhou have that in his career in the Formula One?
No, he doesn't. He actually doesn't.
So you tell me right now, what is the purpose of Guan Yu Zhou being in the Formula One? We said it when he got signed, and I'm still shocked that that happened, considering I watched F2, F3. I've seen this done. And he's had 2 years, and now he's going to have a 3rd year in Formula One, and he brings nothing to the table. People stick it on Sargent. People stick it on all these other drivers. This brother brings nothing to the table. Why is all the focus on Yuki? This guy's not doing nothing, bro. At least Yuki's coming with highlight packages. What is this guy doing in Formula One, Chris?
He's there just wearing drip in it. But it's like, who cares about drip when you're at the back, bruv? I don't care about drip if you're riding the bus, bro. Get a car. Like, do something, bruv. Like, I've had enough of him because it's like they have a reserve driver and Porsche is about to win F2 championship. There's more exciting drivers out there. Like, I don't understand.
What's Joe's ceiling? What is Joe's ceiling? The guy's a role player, bro. Off the bench.
He's
He plays at the end of the third quarter. Off the bench. Plays a bit of defense. He's not an all-star, bro. F1 needs all-stars.
And Aston Martin, if I dare sign him.
Kwame, he's not even like Latifi media, so he can cause some red flags.
That's the thing. Like, I like it when my drivers have a bit of, danger to them. That's one thing I said before with, the generations, of your Mix and your Yukis. At least they would push themselves hard enough where, they will, do an inside overtake or they'll do a crash. Like, I'd rather my rookies bin it and crash. Listen, I'm not team owner, so it's not my money, so I hear it. But I'd rather them and risk and, try to do an exciting crash and, do something than just not do anything at all and then just drop off the field and get home the car because you're adding nothing to the team. Like, at least Bottas, okay, cool, you do a good quality, then he'll at least drop. What are you doing? At least Bottas got a bit of experience. Yeah, I don't see it personally, but
Alfa Romeo on the whole, we can see you guys. You can't keep doing this. You can't keep getting away with this. I'm hearing Audi want to back up. Man, Reek. It's looking crazy. We are watching. We are observing. Guan Yu Zhou, Valtteri Bottas. You got one more year of this, and you're both going to be unemployed. Chris, Latifi Award.
My Latifi will go to the team that's 10th in the Constructors' Championship right now. Haas, they came in last year, 2022, on smoke. Said we gave up 2021. We're coming in on smoke. You delivered a decent car. You said, we're not going to do upgrades. We're going to master our car, do one big package. Yeah, cool. This season, they said, okay, you know what? Yeah, that upgrade package didn't really work. We got overtaken by everyone. They've done the same thing again. One upgrade, it hasn't cooked again. Chewing their tires again. Hulkenberg tried to dip to Audi, He tried to dip to Alfa Romeo, but then Gunther Steiner went and said, activate the clause. You're here for life, brother. These guys reek. Upgrades don't cook. Nothing's cooking. Car just breaking, sending Magnussen into the wall. Bruv. Pit stop slow. Everything stinks, bruv. And then they try to run PR campaigns against the child because his uncle was cussing you.
All right. That sounds personal, that was.
Okay, that was a bit personal still. But you know what it is? And the Andretti thing, man's talking about, what Andretti don't bring nothing. You're not bringing nothing. You finished last or second last since every year since like 2018. Like, that's the last time you provided any sort of entertainment, bro. I can't stand this, like, because it's like they're not good. You never hear about Haas staff getting promoted or poached to go up the grid. You don't hear that, bro. There's nothing good coming out of that institution.
Nobody wants Ramona Resta, bro.
No one wants that.
It's funny because he's not wrong, because at least like AlphaTauri, they'll get at least a young James Key somehow getting promoted to McLaren or something. But these man,
I'm hearing articles of Adrian Newey going to Williams, looking at the Williams car. I've never seen him look at a Haas in his life.
Haas is crazy because they had the biggest upgrade in the history and didn't move forward, and ended up last in the constructors within 2 races. What I'm saying is with Haas, and this is a problem with Formula One. I need a minimum spend. Everybody talks about budget cap. I need budget minimum, bro. If you're here scrimping and saving, this ain't for you. You're in the club. You're buying bottles of water, bro. Man, I'm buying Dom Perignon. You can't be in this club, bro. You can't afford to be here. Let Andretti come here and let them. You think Andretti would have a telephone box as a pit wall? Are you crazy? Andretti would be blowing cash. Haas, come on, man. I'm all for having like diversity in the grid and stuff like that, and having an American team. But if you're gonna do it properly, man. There's guys knocking on the door trying to get let in, bro, and you're just taking up a spot because you don't want to compete. You want to be scrimping and saving. Gene Haas looks like he's on the borderline of Like Bayless will come to his house at every moment because this team bankrupted him. You need to let go of this thing and sell it to Andre immediately because we can't be described the same.
No. They can sell it to someone else. We need Andre to have their own spot, and we need Haas. Yeah, what you need to do is, next season, yeah, one of K-Mag or Hulkenberg has to go. And if Behrman wins F2, you put him in the car and you make a plan for how to handle a rookie. Because if we see K-Mag and Hulkenberg in 2025, yeah, and you man are still at the back, I want the FI just to take your license away and just be like, we'll give it to someone else. Because it's not good enough. You have to provide something. Like, you're not providing anything. It was nice that you stayed around during COVID, and I respect that. But COVID times are gone now. The sport is prospering. You have to match that level of expectation. Like, AlphaTauri moved up. Williams moved up. What are you, man, doing? You're just staying there.
Gunner's got that DTS still, man. He's all good, man. He's all good, bro. He's all good, man.
Who cares, bro? No one buys Netflix anymore, bro. They increased the prices. We're not buying Netflix no more, bro. The Netflix will run out. You did your little book tour. It was nice reading your diary. But, okay, it's time to go now.
It's time to go. My Latifi Award goes to Aston Martin. We can see you. we're at the stage of the relationship, yeah, where Alonso is pretending that shit's broken on his car.
This is my favorite.
At McLaren, I'm telling you right now, McLaren, in that second stint, 2015, 2016, 2017, when the car did not have pace, this brother would say, yeah, something's wrong. And then just automatically, under no instructions, go into the pit lane and retire the car. This is what we're doing now. We're saying floor damage from the debris. He's just, watch Alonso, man. He's been in F1 for how long? He retires the car when the car is not there, bro. He's saying this is a waste of time. He will pretend that there's an issue with the car and he will pick the car. He's done this many a time. If he didn't do it in Mexico, I'm guaranteeing he's done it before. 1,000,000% he's done it before. So not only that, the team just reeks. The team's doing offsets with, we're going to mix this with rear wing with this floor because they don't understand their car. So Dan Fallows, Latifi Award. You got Andy Green's car. You tried to stick on some upgrades. You thought you was Adrian Newey. It's not cooking. What happened to all the Dan Fallows prop at the beginning of the season that I used to see on my timeline? If I type in Dan Fallows now, the name's not coming up. If I type in any of these Aston Martin engineers, it's not coming up because these men don't understand their car, bro. And they might cook next year, but this year's been an abject failure. And I can't even explain to you why. That man got the ATR cut to second place and then they started moving mad. They're like, oh no, we can't upgrade properly, bro. We're finished. We need all the time as possible. You want to be a big boy team, you got to step up when you're at the top sharp end of the table.
I said on here before, they did the Ferrari thing of when you make a nice car in the corners and then you try to strip away all the drag and then they've messed up the entire balance of the car. And now it's showing through because Alonso can't mask the failings anymore because McLaren are here. They've fallen behind Alpine and we've called Alpine rubbish all year. We're calling teams rubbish all year and you've fallen behind them. What can we say? What can we do?
I just got something. I think this could be the history of the Jordan because deep it right. So Aston Martin at the moment now they're failing, to develop the car. When they were back in their racing point days, apart from that 2020 season when they had the pink Mercedes, they were all struggling to develop the car. Force India, they were notoriously bad for developing the car. They started well, but they developed the car. It's funny, all this money that they've got now pumped to this team, and it's still the same issue. And Andy Green has been there from Jordan days since, when they Jordan's there as well. So I'm not putting the blame onto him, but I'm just saying there's an issue with that team where their man are struggling to develop because we've seen it before in the past, and now how many years is still the same issue? So,
hey, if the engineers from the Jordan days are the ones that carry them to success, they need to harry Gary Anderson back, bro. Bring back the old guard, innit? Yeah, take him from the race.
Bring back V10s. Bring back V10s. Gary Anderson. Oh my god, bro. All I can say about that Aston Martin, where Rafa or Richard hold that. That's what I can say. They will hold it. We've got some listeners' questions before we go. If I can get it up, hold on a moment. A lot of people are getting on to me, man, because I said I've noticed something about Mercedes. Let my agenda build. Please let my agenda build. Why am I being prescribed the timelines? I'm talking to you, Becca. I'm talking to you. Let me breathe. I said I will confirm something about Mercedes after this race weekend. I have now delayed this. I did say I was going to delay it to Mexico. I am delaying it again because I need further information. I cannot build an agenda properly unless I let it marinate. This is not white people cooking. I'm letting it marinate. It has to be overnight. It has to sit there. Let the agenda build. Then I will tell you. Yeah. So that's my thoughts, Becca, on your question.
Oh, so people too used to McDonald's based agendas.
I don't do fast food takes. My name is not certain people on this pod. I don't do fast food takes. It takes four. There's different types of people in the F1 space. My takes are not reactionary. They're not half-baked. They're not filet of fish. Yeah? They're properly cooked and seasoned. So let it cook, yeah? First question is from Scribsley, Squaib Makbul. He said, is Perez finished? A simple question.
I don't think he's finished as a driver per se. Like, don't get me wrong, like he's still a decent midfield driver. Like he can still hang it out in, let's say, an Aston Martin or let's say an Alpine or that level of the grid. He can hang it. I think he can hold his own still. Seen before some point days, he could do his cute recovery drives or cute strategy-based drives there in it. But as long as it's time in Red Bull, the top team's second driver, yeah, them days are done. In my opinion, them days are done. Their time is numbered. But midfield, yeah, he'll be alright, man. You'll see him low in the Williams or Haas or something like that. Haas, hey, don't see there any money. He can do his thing there. Carlos Slim, Beckett, Gucci. Everyone eats.
I'll go to the next question. Does from at MGL Sports 123, does Daniel Ricciardo outscore Yuki in the last 3 races?
If Yuki's bozo gene flares up again, yes. This is on Yuki Tsunoda. It's more on Yuki Tsunoda than it is on Danny Rick. It's more whatever Yuki cooks up. So it's like if he wants to stink or he wants to do well, it's on him. Higher ceiling, higher floor.
The car is the way the car is right now. He's getting the top 5 finish in Brazil. I'm saying this first, right now. I'm saying it right now on pure pace. Next question. Now that for the same person, MLG Sports 123. Now that Haas are officially P10, can they move up the grid before the end of the year? Can they even score before the end of the season, end of the year?
No, and hopefully no.
So they're not scoring no points to gain when AlphaTauri is over.
Yeah, because next week's a sprint race, so they can't spend time setting up the car to manage tires. Las Vegas is...
This is Magnussen's home pole position. Better hope for adverse conditions.
Hall can cook there as well. Hey, I think it all depends on my opinion. Alfa Romeo. I feel like AlphaTauri now they've got upgrades. They're kind of gone. Williams are clear. So the battle for 10th is between the 2 4 powered engine cars, man. It's between Alfa Romeo and the Haas. So we'll see which one stinks out more. I think it's literally that. And if any of them 2 teams get lucky as well in the next few races, I think Haas are more likely to get a point than Alfa Romeo. But again, how lucky will Haas be to get a point?
The gap is 4 points. A P10 isn't enough anymore. You need like a P7, P6 kind of position. Now, is that happening?
Hulkenberg podium come true right now. Save the day. That's the only way they can help them save themselves. Right?
That's the day I'm finished. That's the day I'm finished. I'm doomed.
Because you know what's so funny, yeah? Even if Haas didn't win the race, yeah, they came third, yeah. Trust me, Steiner's going on the podium. Whoever won that race, whoever that official is that won for the constructors that day, he ain't there. Steiner's going to be there. Popping champagne. He will be there. Last question from ASD. Can Lewis win in Brazil?
It depends on Red Bull and Verstappen. That's the limiting factor here, because the one weekend that they actually reeked, Sainz got his race win, and the other time they kind of smelled, which was Monaco, Aston Martin bottled it. But like, I don't trust Mercedes to capitalize. It would be a Lewis carry job, and like last time, Lewis had to take the hit to deny Max as well.
Last 3 years at Brazil has been a sprint race. Every single of those 3 races, Red Bull fucked up the setup. 3 times in a row, they fucked up the setup. Will it happen again?
That's what I'm about to say. If it's a race where that will bound to happen, Red Bull.
No, not 3 times, 2 times. My bad. I can't.
But I say that.
I can't. I'm ill. I'm very ill, guys. You can hear the sniffling. If you're listening to me, I'm very, very ill right now.
Red Bull's history in Brazil is not the best. Let's put it like that.
What? No.
No, in sprints, in the sprints. Like I said, it's not.
Last year was an absolute abject disaster.
Yeah, last year was 2021. That was Lewis Hamilton with a nuclear powerbomb engine. And Lewis Hamilton.
And to be fair, if that was a normal race weekend, Red Bull win that race, because Lewis Hamilton is not making up 19 places.
He would have finished. Lewis Hamilton would have finished second, and we would have called Bottas crap.
No, but to be fair though, Bottas with that same nuclear engine in Monza went from like last to P3.
No, yeah, it's 2020 when he was breathing like a dog.
2021 in Monza, he did a mazzoline. Bottas with the nuclear engine, yeah. These men were throwing away engines. That was I found. One day they're gonna do a 30 for 30 on that engine. You just need to know what's going on, because what was going on there, and you did not do that in the first half of the season, because that engine was so fake. It's insane. Nobody ever talks about it.
Because it was going to blow up. That's why they had to remove it for Qatar. They said Qatar.
That's a red line. It lasts for a race and a half. Each engine. These men were paying peas out. Nasty stuff. But listen, it made my goat win races, but don't give a damn. Yeah, that's everything. If you got this, if you got here so far, apologies for me being sick on the microphone. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok. We'll be back next week. We'll review Brazil. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.